Hi guys, Louis in the UK. So I've been trying to get on to do a live today. I've been away for 2 days. I went to the zoo yesterday, a Paynton Zoo in the UK. And I did manage, today, that's right. Oh yeah, Tino's here. He's 4 years old. He just finished school. So I've been faffing around today, being sidetracked by the camper van, still trying to fix it. It is sort of fixed now. I'm just trying to get the choke on it working properly. So I posted a couple of videos. Let me just quickly talk about the videos that I've posted. If you don't know me, I'm Louis. I'm in the Southwest UK. My name's I'm 56, nearly 57. I'm a lifelong Elvis fan, as you all know. And I do try and say as many positive things as possible, but every now and then I'm going to have to say some negative stuff about Priscilla and Elvis, because I want it to be a real channel where we give honest opinions of good and bad, whether we like it or not. And I also, when it comes to my comments, I expect people to tell me off and give me their honest opinions, even if I don't agree with them. I think the more truthful, the better. As long as we're all polite and civil to each other and we don't call each other names, I'm ready to take any serious comments, no matter how different they are from my personal views. But ultimately, I am an Elvis fan, so you will tend to find that I do stand up for Elvis. A big part of my channel is just trying to keep an open, honest view on Priscilla and her good points, her bad points, the mistakes she's made in her life, but the good stuff she's done in her life as well. And I know many of my subscribers are very upset and angry with Priscilla. And, we could spend 10 hours talking about the reason people are so upset with Priscilla. That's it, but I'm happy to talk about Priscilla, and I do like posting Priscilla videos because I find them interesting. Okay, so right, let's go to the first video. I'm just gonna. I really need that coffee. Contents. So I'm going to focus on the last 3 videos. So one of them is called Priscilla Finally Accepts. Let's have a look. Fans Accept Me. Priscilla, finally fans accept me. So this is an old interview. I just found it very interesting. I'm going to play it and then we can talk about it. And if you want to throw in a comment, go ahead. So I'm going to... All right, let's get past the adverts. I'm losing my mind. Hi guys, a nice short clip here showing Priscilla Presley talking about her fans. Priscilla Presley.
It wasn't until after Elvis died in 1977 that she began to get work. First in commercials, then a cheesy TV show, and finally a 5-year stint as Jenna Wade on the primetime soap Dallas.
Ray, after all that's happened, Frank.
But it was the success of the comedy sleeper The Naked Gun that really established Presley as an actress
we do have to
and
be
gave
quiet.
her a new identity.
I became more approachable to people, and they really look at me with, I don't know, having a sense of humor, and I can laugh and be a little fun.
Is that a relief that people are beginning to take you seriously, that you're finally, after all of this, being accepted on your own terms?
Yeah, of course it's a relief. After seeing Naked Gun 2.5, I don't know how seriously they're going to take it.
Well, I see a certain kitten still knows how to scratch.
I really feel like I've really crossed the barrier now because I want to be able to enjoy the things in life that I have.
That's Priscilla Presley there, saying that she's finally been accepted by her fans. Thanks, guys. Okay, So, morning, KNS. Hope you're well. I've been trying to get on live today for about 5 hours, but stuff's happening. I had to take my daughter to her job interview. I had to pick up the kids from school. Then I was working on the camper van. The choke was just being a nightmare because it's sticking. But I've got it working much better now. So hopefully I can get back to normal. That camper van, that Volkswagen engine has literally took sidetracked me for 10 days. So I've made a lot less videos and I've had to do less lives because of it. So I just want to say something that on my channel, I will be doing comments about all things related to Elvis, not just Elvis. I'll talk about Priscilla as well and Lisa Marie. And I will also talk about the Memphis Mafia. And there'll be many things that some Elvis fans won't like. But that is part of my channel. I want to give an unbiased, fair look at all points of view, whether they're for Priscilla or against Priscilla, or for Elvis or against Elvis, or for the Memphis Mafia or against the Memphis Mafia, and for Colonel Tom Parker or against him. I will sit on the fence. No one is going to tell me what I talk about. So if I get any rude comments from anyone, that just show no respect or are not friendly, I'm just going to ignore them. So that's it. So good morning to you guys. Right. So let's talk about that video. So I actually found that video very interesting. I think she came across quite honest. What do you guys think about what she said? Did it strike a nerve with you guys? I know that the older interviews, like I'm guessing that one was in the 90s. She has changed her opinion slightly. And is that KNS? Right, so I rewatched the Mike Stone interview. Great interview. Mike Stone is writing a book about the relationship with Priscilla. I've watched quite a few Mike Stone interviews. They are very interesting. And hello, Cat Girl. Where are you? I don't think we've spoke before. Cat Girl, I'm Louis. I'm in the Southwest UK. And good day to you. And what time is it here again? It's 2:15 p.m. So in about 3 o'clock, all the kids are going to come marching in. The wife's going to come in. The wife's working tonight. So I had a day trip yesterday for 2 days, actually. So we've only just got back, so I can get back to normal. But let's play the next video. I'm going to play all 3 of the videos that I made whilst we were away. So this one's quite long, so I might... So Priscilla Presley's TV roles in the 1980s. So I did a video yesterday because I am trying to look into what happened with Priscilla just leading up to the divorce, just after the divorce, and then also once she got used to being divorced and Elvis had passed away, the choices that she made career-wise for herself. It's obvious she was interested in entertainment and the TV world and making movies and that side of the industry, because very quickly she got this role called Those Amazing Animals, where she co-presented with a few other people. And one of the guys is the guy who was Rocky of the film Rocky, the coach on there, his trainer. And there was a couple of other co-presenters. And she actually, I think, well, firstly, she definitely looks really good, but obviously she's very young there. But the other thing is, I think that she does a good job of it. She's quite confident. Her presenting is believable. And I actually thought the glove fitted quite well with her being a presenter. I wouldn't say that her choice of TV roles was fantastic. Basically with animals. I know that she does love animals and horses and all the rest of it. What did you guys think of it? Were you around when it was on? Did you like it? Those Amazing Animals. So and I did sort of Google this earlier. Let's have a look. So I'll put Priscilla Presley's first TV roles. Let's have a look. And it came up. She, yes, it says here, she co-hosted with Those Amazing Animals in 1980 till 1983. She had her first professional acting role with 2 episodes of The Fall Guy. I've seen that, and they're both free on YouTube. They're called Manhunter. I also found the movie that she made, which is free on YouTube. First, I think it was, what was it called? It was Love Lasts Forever, I think. Let me just have a look. Presley movies. There we go. Obviously, we know about the Naked Guns. I'm pretty sure they started in 88. There was another one in 1991. That was Naked Gun 2.5. And there's Naked Gun 3, which is Naked Gun 33, and a third, which is 1994. I'm just having a look here. Yeah, here it is. Love. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Love is Forever. And that is free on YouTube. Love is Forever. I'm not saying they're any good. I haven't watched the Fall Guy one, but I'm going to. And there was a couple of other things she did as well. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, of course. Dallas, which she, as far as I know, she did for 5 years, from 1983 to 1988. After his death, she went into business and began work in movies, TV, and notably playing a part of Jenna Wade from 1983 to 1988 in the very successful series Dallas, 1978. So we all, if you're my age and older, we all loved Dallas, didn't we? It was just part of what we did, and it was massive in the UK as well, guys. I think we were all gutted when it ended, but it lasted for years and years, didn't it? Yeah. Priscilla Presley. Dallas was seen by over 300 million viewers worldwide each week. The show, set in Texas, city of its title, chronicled the adventures and exploits of the Ewing family. Well, we all know that, don't we? Did you guys like Dallas or Naked Gun? Have any of you watched the film that we mentioned just now? Do you think she's a good actress? Do you think she pulled it off? The only thing I ever saw Priscilla in was Dallas. Yeah. Well, actually, I'll play this video for you that I did, which is just little clips of Those Amazing Animals, which I did find interesting, just to see her looking so young and healthy and beautiful. I find that interesting. Anyway, typical bloke. Let's have a look. Right. Here we go. Right. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it all. We'll just see.
Are you living in the UK? If so, you could receive a Sephora samples gift box. All you have to do...
Hi guys, found some old video footage from 1980. Priscilla Presley in her debut TV appearance presenting Amazing Animals. Let's watch it together.
You'll experience it all with those amazing animals. Good evening. I'm Burgess Meredith, and Jim Stafford and Priscilla Presley and I are delighted to be here to introduce to you those amazing animals.
Does that bring back any memories, guys? Do you remember? So, sorry about my wobbly camera. I'm going to try and find out how I can actually, in the corner of the screen, put stuff like this so that I'm not there with a wobbly phone. I'm not very technically minded. So I'm just going to get past me talking. 1980. And let's wondering what Priscilla Presley would be like. Let's have a look. Let's keep watching.
Season's greeting from all of us at Channel 7.
Hi, some adverts. No, here we go.
We've all had this experience at one time or another.
holding a gentle little animal and having it respond to us. In fact, caring for creatures that depend on us gives us a very special feeling.
Well, at Lima State Hospital in Ohio, a young psychiatrist social worker put that idea to a very unusual use.
Well, she looks great. She seems a little bit more.
And here she is. We had a hard time believing what we saw, too. We knew we had to see a demonstration of this strange sort of communication for ourselves. And here she is, Christina and her owner, Tony Corello.
She's very eager.
Before, right? Okay.
Let's have a look.
Courtney Reed. She's from our studio audience, and she has never met Christina or Tony before, right? Right. Okay. Now, would you take this card and this felt pen and write down any number you want? Okay, make it 2 digits so we're not here all night, okay? And then I'll show it to, write a number down. Okay.
See? So she looks great. You know, I can't get away from that. I mean, how old would she have been then? So would that, say if that was 1981, so how old would she have been there? So what age is she now? She's 78 now, is she? So we're talking like, you know, over 45 years ago. So my maths is terrible. So she's in her 30s in that. So she's still a very young lady, isn't she? But it must have been weird that you think about it. So as far as I know, she in 72, I reckon by 72, she'd made up her mind. She was out of Elvis's life. And then I know obviously she got a large amount of money. I will say this, much more than she deserved, because she just kept going back for more money and more money and more money. And I really feel sorry for Elvis, because I think she really did have her pound of flesh. And you can find all the details of the divorce settlements. It's all online. It's all on YouTube. And even when she goes back again for a second amount, it's all there in black and white, what Elvis gave her. There was a lot of money, cash, property, even motor vehicles, bank accounts. So suddenly she's in this big wild world. I hear that she had a friend and she wanted to open a boutique. I think it was called Biss and Bo. I'm trying to remember. You tell me the correct name. Yeah, man. I think, was it in California? I don't know. You tell me. But from what I hear, Elvis helped pay to set that up. Yeah, truly honest. Tell me your name again. I keep forgetting. Yes, I know. And actually, I'll show you some of the adverts in it. Truly honest. You'll laugh at the adverts. Have a look. Here we go. Now watch. I'll show you the adverts. Here we go. Right. Now watch for the adverts, guys. Just coming up now.
Generally speaking, sea lions are fairly pleasant and playful. There are also sea lions with a lot of talent, as we saw a little earlier.
Don't tell me
Hello,
I've been
Kathy.
doing laundry for 50 years.
But new Cling Free does beat every other leading fabric softener.
Do you remember this advert?
It eliminates static better than your liquid, Grandma. And it's more convenient than Mom's white sheet. Fresh new fragrance. Makes clothes smell fresher than ever. And those thousands of softness cells have special softeners. So clothes come out wonderfully soft.
Well, you're never too old to learn. One way or another, new Cling Free beats every other leading brand. Ready, Michael.
Well, there's more.
What goes on behind the scenes is important. Things don't work here, they don't work up front. Well, same with pictures. Literally, what's behind them can make a difference. Kodak paper. To me, that's quality. One thing, you can't find Kodak paper just anywhere, but it's always available where you see the Kodak paper sign. That's the sign with the photogenic face.
Clyde, look for the Kodak paper sign when you get your pictures developed.
Cut! He said cut.
You want to feel really good? Tell someone else your neighbor.
So how do you think she did? You see, I just love those old adverts. Love them. Let's do another one. Let's watch a couple more while we're here.
Just
for memory's sake. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, guys. All the best.
Got your picture and your preacher.
You remember this?
Right around the waist and get that shoulder strap in place. Go belt someone today.
Seatbelts help keep people safe, so belt someone.
Go belt someone
Yeah, Michael Landon. We love him.
Poet Robert Browning wrote, God made all the creatures and gave them our love and our fear. To give sign we and they are his children, one family here. So thank you for joining us this evening.
If you have a special pet or know someone with an amazing animal, please send us a picture of the animal and a brief letter with all the facts.
The address is Those Amazing Animals, Post Office Box.
Amazing, yeah? See, I just find these old clips amazing, funny. Just they bring me back. They make me feel 40 years younger. So I'm just going to warm my coffee up a second, and then I'm going to come back and talk a bit more about...
Elvis Club.
Yes, Elvis. Right, okay. Right, you'll be quiet, remember? Right. I like my coffee to be hot.
Why, but
Don't make me take it.
I have it.
Right, I'll go on my phone, thank you.
No.
Yeah. So the house is not as tidy as it should be. Wife's not looking happy, is she?
What?
Wife's not looking happy, it's so messy.
What?
I have been tidying today, a little bit. Right, okay guys. I like my coffee to be hot. Okay, let's go back and carry on. So that's better. Anyway, so you think about it. Around 1980, I think the boutique. Oh, I do remember that show. I liked it. Yeah. I mean, there's so many programs that we all loved in the 80s, isn't there? So I liked Starsky and Hutch, which I think is a bit before the 80s. Then the Bionic Man came out, and then you got the Hulk. More will come to me in a minute, but I think we probably all liked the same stuff, didn't we, guys? So, do you remember the Banana Splits? Yeah, I remember I used to watch them, and the Donny Osmond Show, and all that kind of stuff. The Osmonds, and we all love the same stuff, guys. So I'm 56, 57 soon, so a lot of what I watched was in the 70s at home with my parents, and my parents had a cafe when I was growing up in the UK. So you think about it, Priscilla has completely started anew. The clothing boutique didn't work out, I think, went into just lost money, basically. And I think the decisions that Priscilla made, so to get into presenting and to do things like Dallas, the Fall Guy, obviously there was a movie, just shows that secretly, when she was with Elvis, she, I think, wanted to be famous. And this is one of the things that many of you guys keep saying to me about Priscilla. Because obviously Elvis met a very innocent, sweet girl in, or well, actually, that's not true if you believe Child Bride, the book. But, you know, in Germany, Elvis meets 14-year-old Priscilla, who was portrayed to Elvis as being very shy and quiet and innocent. Obviously, Child Bride says something very different to that. Child Bride says that she was quite wild and she loved Elvis and her parents loved Elvis and that she wasn't innocent at all and that she pre-planned everything to meet Elvis. Now, do we believe the things in Child Bride? It's hard to tell, isn't it? But let's just follow this timeline that we were fed as people growing up through the 70s and 80s. We think the romance is that they fell in love. In Germany, they become close friends. We all know about Elvis turning around on top of the aeroplane and waving at Priscilla as he goes back to Germany. He keeps putting videos of Priscilla. He's just like Brett Ophers. Let's have a look. All right, so I do remember. Yeah, So if I see any comments that I don't like, I'm just going to ignore them. Sorry, guys, but that's just been retracted. So come on, Susie, let's be friends. No nasty messages. I worship Elvis. I love Elvis. Now, worship's the wrong word. I admire Elvis, and I know all of Elvis's good qualities as well as his faults. To me, Elvis was one of the greatest human beings ever lived. That's how I feel, because of all the good he did and how generous he was and how many people he helped. He was a God-fearing, good Christian from a humble beginning, and I have masses of praise for Elvis. But I also think Elvis, when he became very famous, especially when he was doing his live tour, his tours and the movies, should have been faithful. I honestly believe Elvis should have been faithful. I really believe that. And I think all men that get married should be faithful. But I won't judge Elvis's life just on the fact that he was unfaithful or he liked women. That's not fair. Elvis's life was so much bigger than that. He did so much good in the world, much bigger than the fact that he liked women. Yeah. So Elvis to me isn't just a good-looking man that liked women. He is much more than that. He was a beautiful, decent humanitarian that wanted to help the world, and I really believe that. Right. So let's have a look at. There is an interview with her shop partner. All right, I'd like to look that up. Yeah, I know. I do know her name because I've seen it when I Google it. She tells what happened with her leaving. It wasn't anything nefarious. Oh, thanks very much for that. I'm definitely gonna, Kathy. I'm gonna look that up because I think I would find that really interesting. I've seen the interviews of her in the boutique in the shop. I've seen a few of those of Priscilla Presley promoting the business. Right. So I think this. So we're talking about the innocent Priscilla who eventually, I think when she was nearly 17, moves to Graceland. And then the story is that she was left alone and Elvis kept leaving her and going away, being unfaithful, and that she was bored and hated it and life was miserable, which I completely do not believe, not a word of it. I do believe that Elvis would go away and leave her and make movies and then eventually went on to the Las Vegas tours and that. But do I think Priscilla was at home bored, hating life? No way. She was living a life of luxury and all the benefits of wealth. And she had loads of friends and family visiting her all the time, including her sister. I think Priscilla had a brilliant time when Elvis was away. So to play the victim and say that she was just stuck home miserable with all these, with loads of bags of money in living in luxury is rubbish. And we also know that Priscilla, when Elvis was away being naughty, she was away being naughty. And I don't believe for a second that Priscilla only had affairs with Mike Stone and the dance instructor. She was a naughty girl, Priscilla. But I also think Priscilla has done a lot of good for Elvis's legacy. And also she's done a lot of good with Graceland. But she has also done some harm with Elvis's legacy because she has said things about Elvis that I think she should have kept private. She didn't have to write all the little bad bits, especially in the book Elvis and Me. She writes many things in there that I think she shouldn't have put in there that are private business that Elvis would not have wanted to be shared with the public. So I also think Priscilla has harmed Elvis in some ways as well. So I will say good and bad. I'll say the good she has done and the bad she has done. Tino, right. Thanks, Kathy. I'm trying to be fair. Now, I always say this when I do videos with Priscilla. I do not hate Priscilla. I do think Priscilla has made loads of mistakes. I also think she's done a lot of good. I massively admire Elvis. He's my hero, but I see all his faults as well. Now, he was a human being. He had weaknesses just like we do, not just with women, with medication. I also know Elvis was very unwell, and I've heard that Gladys's parents were first cousins, which I think caused genetic problems for Elvis. So he had some very serious illnesses that needed a lot of medication. But I do think that him using medication to wake up, to go to sleep, to stay awake was a massive mistake, even though it started all the way back in the 1958, 59, doing his army maneuvers, the keeping awake tablets so that he could be up all night on these maneuvers, had a knock-on effect. Even Priscilla is known to say this in interviews, that she feels that the medication problem started right back from the army years. Anyway, I'm still talking about Priscilla. So I think that the fact that she quite early on, so in the 80s, early 80s, is trying to get a career in the TV industry, in the movie industry, does obviously to me prove that she was fame hungry. She wanted to be famous. It's the truth. She, and like many people say about Priscilla, she loves attention, and she does love attention. Even when I watch recent interviews now, even though she has lost Lisa Marie Presley, God rest her soul, and obviously Benjamin, I see someone who loves fame, loves putting herself out there to the public. So, and I'm not even saying that horribly. I'm saying that some people are just like that. They've got it in them that they want to be famous and everything that comes with the fame. So the attention, the signing of autographs, being in all the papers, being on all TV shows, and maybe being in movies. And I even watched an interview yesterday where Priscilla, not that long ago, I think it was about 15 years ago, was in that interview was saying, I want to be in movies. I'm trying to find the right movie role. So she had big aspirations of being a credible movie actress. Not everyone knows that. I know she did the silly things like Fall Guy and Dallas, and obviously those amazing animals. But she also wanted to be in some big movie roles. Now, I wonder if Elvis knew that. I wonder if Elvis picked up on the fact that, because obviously he was so famous, he could do anything he wanted to. He could pick and choose. Tino, just a bit quiet. He could pick and choose the stuff he did, Elvis, whether it be movies or concert tours or making albums for RCA. He would pick and choose the things he wanted. And he was offered loads of things. And we know he was offered some fantastic movie roles. But do you think Elvis knew that Priscilla herself wanted to be famous? I think if I was sat here with Elvis now and I said to Elvis, do you think Priscilla wanted to be famous? He would say no. I honestly believe that. I think he knew that she loved luxury and she loved nice things and she loved traveling. That's a big part with Priscilla. She always wanted to travel. And she has said this in many of her interviews. And one of the questions she was asked about Lisa Marie Presley was, what do you want for Lisa Marie? And one of the things she answered in that question was, I want her to see the world and see every different part of the world. It was actually with Julio Ongleos. She had an interview with him, Julio Ongleos. And it's rumored they had an affair. Is that correct? And in that, she tells him that she wants Lisa Marie Presley to see the world. And one of the countries she wanted her to go to was Chile, because the interview was done in Chile. So what I'm getting at here is that I wonder if there was jealousy there. I'm just talking out loud here, thinking out loud. When Elvis was super famous, being offered all these movie roles, and he was #1 in the box office, and all of his albums were top of the charts, was there jealousy? Was there envy? Or was it more, oh, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be that famous, have that much talent. Because I will say this about Priscilla. She didn't have any talent. She couldn't sing. She wasn't a good actress from what I see. She's let the dogs have the postman's here thing. She was stunningly beautiful. I would give Priscilla that. But that's why I always liked her, because she was so good looking. Right, let's just read this comment. Right, come on then. Come on. Ella, come say hello. Come on. Ella is an 8-year-old Jack Russell. Come up here. Come on, don't be shy. Come on. She's cowering down to me. Come on. She's lying on her back. She wants me to stroke her tummy. Hey, come up here and say hello. There we go. Here we go. Come on. What's this? Look. Come on. There we go. Come on. Oh, there she is. That's it. I tricked her into that. Look, say hello to the Elvis fans. How old are you? She's 8 years old. And And Tino is 4, and her mother is upstairs. Her mother is 14. All right, there's no postman here. It's okay, there's no postman. We're going to walk you soon. So, going back to Priscilla. So then, I actually think her choice of doing those famous animals, I think, a bit too corny, a bit too cheesy. Probably a bit of a downgrade if you want to be a credible actress. And then you've got, well, I like the Fall Guy. The Fall Guy was good, but come on, guys. You're not going to watch her in the Fall Guy and go, oh my God, you are going to one day be so famous as an actress. And then you've got a bit of a B movie, Love That Lasts Forever, which isn't very good. I've watched bits of it on YouTube. And then you've also, and I mean, I know Naked Guns were funny, the one in 1988, but come on, guys, you're not going to take it seriously, are you? So I don't really think anything Priscilla did film-wise, TV-wise, presenter-wise, really worked out for her. If anything, it made her look like a B actress. And did she have the ability in her to be a top-ranking film star? I don't think so. You tell me, guys. Do you think so? Right, let's have a look at this. So I do not know much about her earlier years, only what has happened in the past few years. I got interested because of the deaths in the recent years. And I think that's true of a lot of people, Cat Girl. Let's have a look. I think that, well, definitely the Baz Luhrmann Elvis film has suddenly brought everything to the attention again a few years ago. The Priscilla film was just, yeah, thanks. Yeah, she is, isn't she? And the Priscilla film, did any of you watch it? Did any of you like it? It was so bland and boring, and basically was all about Priscilla, the victim, and Elvis, the bad guy, isn't it? And it was rubbish. Sofia Coppola should be embarrassed how bad that film was. The only thing she did well was she got the sets really good. I think they did it all in Australia, and the sets were amazing. They recreated Graceland's, and a lot of the scenes back in Germany, they recreated that, especially Elvis picking Priscilla Presley up. But it was such a bad film. I've watched it 3 times now. It actually gets worse every time I watch it. So then you think about it. She's in the early part of her career in the 80s. It's not working out. Nothing's really going right. So then, wham, bam, out of the blue, she suddenly is maneuvered into this position where she is going to be the executor, the trustee for Lisa Marie and Graceland and Elvis Presley Enterprises. And she takes a front role, like she's the front person of launching Elvis's Graceland's The Living Museum in Memphis. She did a great job of it. She looked brilliant. The press were all there. She did a really good launch. We know that behind the scenes, she had a lot of help. We know that Vernon always wanted to open Graceland's to the public. And she actually, I will say this, she helped launch Graceland's as a living museum and did a really, really good job of it. And for many years, she ran Graceland's and EPE on behalf of Lisa Marie Presley. And Lisa Marie Presley was happy with how she was doing it for many years. Even once she turned 25, she allowed Priscilla to carry on running Graceland's and EPE on behalf of Lisa Marie. She must have been happy, because why would she have agreed? Because at 25, Lisa Marie could have just completely took over, but she chose not to. She chose to leave her mum, Priscilla Presley, as the front woman. I know you guys, many of you are upset that she took back the Presley name. And I actually don't agree that she should have took back that name. I think that once she gave up the Presley name, she should have kept the name Bulow, because who does that? Who gives up their marriage name and then years later, after their husbands died, takes the name back? For me, that's unheard of. I don't agree with it. And the funny thing is, even Bulow isn't her real name, is it? Her real name from her biological father is Wagner. So it's all very confusing. So then she's got this new podium, which is to represent Elvis's life, and Graceland's and Elvis Presley Enterprises. and she spends the next 40 years promoting Elvis's legacy, traveling around the world, being the front person for Elvis, and the majority of the public are completely convinced with the love story that they met when they were very young in Germany, and that the romance blossomed. They had Lisa Marie Presley. They got these beautiful videos and footage of the 60s and 70s of Elvis and Priscilla together, even the wedding and the engagement and holidays and trips together. And we are all drawn into this storyline, this fairy tale. But the truth is, guys, if you do your research and do your homework, they had a very difficult relationship, and they were both unfaithful. They were actually both unhappy on and off. I know they also had some amazing times together as well. When you see the footage of them having picnics or on the horses, or just playing around on holiday, it's obvious they had many happy times. But there was an agenda where Elvis wanted his own separate life with the Memphis Mafia, where he would go off, make his movies, be naughty, do his tours, be naughty. So Priscilla was also being naughty. I don't know if it was revenge or not, but she was not going to sit around moping. She was going to enjoy herself as well. And she was ambitious and career-minded as well. And then I do think there was probably a period in 1972. Yes, she still uses the Presley name. Right, so I saw the Elvis movie a few months ago, did not care for it. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Because I really had high hopes that it would be okay. I don't think it was as horrible as everyone made out, like it really, really over the top made him look bad. But it did make him look like he had a bad temper, like he had a drug problem, and that he was very cold towards Priscilla, that he lost interest in her quite quickly. It did show that, those three things, I would say. Anyway, so my point is that she's got this new podium. It's all about promoting Elvis, everything Elvis, which I think at first the fans were okay with. But as the years go on, and she's had different affairs, not just with Marco Garibaldi, didn't she go out of the Kardashians? Not father, is it grandfather? But she had other affairs, that are rumored. We don't really know all of them. There's Michael Edwards, the male model, who I think tried a bit of acting as well, and a few other people. And I just think as she got older, different things happened that started to upset the fans. The information started coming out where she went too far with getting the money off Elvis in the divorce settlements, and just too much. And I personally think she got very greedy with Elvis's money. She went too far, which I did think put the fans off her. And unfortunately, sometimes in the interviews, she would mention odd things about Elvis, usually because the interviewer would bring up these questions, and then she felt like she had to answer these questions as honestly as possible. And I think when she answered these questions, it upset more people, because some of the things that she's being asked, Elvis fans feel that she should have kept them to herself. So then you've got a long period of the fans growing to hate Priscilla and being upset with her and forgetting the good stuff that she's doing. Because I would say that in most of her interviews in the 80s, 90s and noughties, she's saying all good things about Elvis. She's really promoting Elvis. She's talking about all the good things Elvis did many times. And I've watched hundreds of her interviews, and 95% of the time she is saying good things on behalf of Elvis that he would be very proud that she's saying. But then you get the interviewer would throw in these odd questions about their age difference, about his unfaithfulness, about his temper, about his drug medications, and about his sex drive and stuff like that. And those little bits have blinded and smothered out all the good stuff she's done. I really believe that. I think the greed of the money and answering some questions that I think she should have kept private has completely killed her image. So now the Elvis fans don't trust Priscilla anymore. And it's such a shame, because I do think Priscilla has also a very good side to her that that wants to do good. And then you've got the new saga, which is when Lisa Marie passed away, and then within days, Priscilla Presley is serving lawsuits saying that Lisa Marie's will was falsified. It just really, she came across like money, grabby. Oh, you're suing your granddaughter, Riley Keough, and the twins. And, oh, you've been getting paid $900,000 a year from Graceland. Greed. It upsets so many people. And then even now, when you watch Priscilla now being interviewed, she's acting as if nothing has happened. You would never watch Priscilla Presley in an interview in 2024 and think that woman is grieving. You wouldn't think it. Tina, a bit quiet, please. You would never think Priscilla is grieving if you watch her recent interviews. Why, Priscilla? I think that Priscilla probably is very upset and cries herself to sleep and is gutted that she's lost her daughter and her grandson. But she's off out, getting on with her career. Business as usual, the show must go on type attitude. But it makes her look disconnected from us, the fans. It makes her look selfish and self-centered and career-driven. And, you know, she's nearly 80, and you would think that she would be calming down now and spending her time with family and with the grandchildren, and not so career-minded, not so money-orientated. Yeah, and this is the problem with Priscilla, where she has lost her way with the fans. And I wish I could look Priscilla in the face and say, come on, Priscilla, you're way into your retirement years. It's time to settle down. Don't worry about the money stuff. Don't worry about going around the world promoting things for your career and different ways of making money. Just become a family woman and maybe apologize for the mistakes you've made. Apologize for the greed with Elvis's money. Apologize for the lawsuit with Riley Keough. Maybe apologize for the rift that her and Lisa Marie had. And I know they had on and off rifts over the decades, but I also know that they went through many times where they were very close and they were there for each other. And if you look at some of the old interviews of Priscilla with Lisa Marie Presley, they're laughing and giggling and having the best time ever many times. And I can tell there were many times when Priscilla and Lisa got on very well. Why would Lisa Marie Presley allow Priscilla to run Graceland when she turned 25 unless they were getting on well and she trusted her? But then you can see from the Golden Globe Awards that they are not happy together. There's a big rift. Jerry Schilling brings Lisa Marie to the Golden Globe Awards. They're forced to sit together, which is very uncomfortable to watch. And I think there was some serious issues with Lisa Marie, unhappy with Priscilla the last 7 or 8 years of their lives together. And the fans don't like it. The fans are upset. They're upset with Priscilla. The fans miss Lisa Marie Presley and think that she had a tough time at the end. And medication was a problem for Lisa Marie Presley. The diet pills caused problems. And this is the weird thing. The diet pills also caused problems with Gladys Presley, Elvis's mother. You know, and I think there was some drug abuse and alcohol thrown in the mix. You know, and we know that Gladys Presley had a problem with alcohol as well. And she was taking different medications because she had different problems. Was it hepatitis? Things like that. And there are some similarities with Gladys and Lisa Marie on how they passed. And actually even Elvis, because there was serious sort of stomach problems, colon problems, wasn't there? So it's just a sad story, and these people all passing way much too young. You know, cannot believe she's almost 80. Where did the years go? I know, guys. I know. When I tell my kids I was born in 1967, their jaw drops. It's like I should be Yeah, it's like I should be 100 years old. How old's Daddy, Tino?
15.
Yeah, 15. So, anyway, I'm waffling. So she spent her whole life promoting Elvis, which is in the end has just upset everyone. And now there is new news. She's going to bring out another book. Is that true? Riley Keough is going to bring out a book on behalf of her mother. I really look forward to reading that. I think it's going to be really good. So anyway, let's play some videos. Enough with Louis waffling. Let's look at the one I did today. So the one I did today it's called Priscilla Presley, I Want Justice. I'm not going to talk to you about it. I'm just going to play it to you. Right, let's get past the adverts. Hi guys, I've decided I'm going to start looking back at the old interviews with Priscilla Presley.
I was in Hollywood last weekend to talk to Priscilla Presley about her motion picture debut in the Christmas release The Naked Gun, which we'll talk more about in the upcoming weeks. Indeed, it's been a long, strange trip for Priscilla, who was once married to the king of rock and roll. Well, now with story after story and book after book about Elvis popping up, the conversation turned to her own accounts of the way it was.
So her first major movie, Naked Gun, is about to come out in 1988. Let's see how she answers these questions. I'm looking to see if over the years her story changes from interview to interview. Let's have a little listen to her together.
I want to ask you about biographers. You've written a biography, and lately, some biographies are coming under fire. We won't mention his name. But since you have written one, why is there so much controversy, do you feel, about biographers and biographies?
Oh boy, now you're getting into a question. Let me just settle one thing really quickly. My book that I had out wasn't for me. It was basically I was taking the responsibility because a book had come out and had did so much injustice that I felt I took it upon my responsibility to correct it all.
That's very interesting how she words that. And do you agree that is the reason she wrote this book? I'm guessing the book is Elvis and Me. I'm not exactly sure which other book they're referring to. Do you guys know? Let's keep listening.
And I didn't want my daughter going down looking at that book thinking this was the last that was ever written on her father. But I had to assume that responsibility. That was the only reason why, was to correct all the injustice that was done on him in that particular book.
So she wrote the book to correct all the injustice done to Elvis Presley on behalf of Lisa Marie Presley. Are you buying that, guys? Do you agree that that was the reason? Do you think it was for money? Do you think it was for glory? I want your opinions, please, as subscribers and fans of Elvis.
Now, you get your other writers that come out and they capitalize on it, and they, think that they have a right to come in and, do such a book. And I feel that there's an injustice in that area too, and I can't validate that in any sense.
I think she's being quite stern and firm, and she's basically said, I don't really like anyone else writing books about Elvis except me. And I think she's also saying that she won't validate anything else that is written about Elvis. So is she sort of saying, you need my permission to write anything about Elvis? And I know you guys have got very strong views about Priscilla and her reasons for doing things, good and bad. I'm not trying to create hate here for Priscilla. I'm just trying to get a broad, fair view on why Priscilla is doing things and going back to the older interviews and trying to understand where she was coming from in the 80s and the 90s and the noughties, just to see how the stories change and what her different points of views are on different things that come up about Elvis. Please comment, guys. Thanks for listening. All the best. Have a great day.
Now, Presley makes her motion picture debut in The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen and Ricardo Montalban. It opens December 16th, and she's very funny in this movie, which comes from the guys who brought us the comedy Airplane.
Okay. God, my arm's aching now. So, you get the gist. I've made it my little mission over the next few weeks to keep re-looking at all of the older interviews and then looking at the more recent interviews, say in the last 5 or 10 years, and compare them, because people keep saying to me that she keeps changing her story. Well, I want to compare them. The other thing people keep saying to me is that whenever Priscilla is interviewed, she's constantly running down Elvis. Well, I don't see that, because I watch loads of interviews, and I would say she almost never runs down Elvis. So I want to know for myself. So I want to look at these old interviews and look at the more recent interviews, and I want to try and find if she is running down Elvis, because this is me sticking up for Priscilla. She's not saying as many bad things about Elvis as we're all getting told in the comments that are on my channel, because I'm getting loads of comments that, oh, Priscilla said this, Priscilla said that, she said, and I'm like, what? I want to see her say it. It's one thing to generalize, oh, Priscilla has really said horrible things about Elvis. But let's see it. I want to see it. Right, let's have a look here. Got some comments. Okay. All right. So some people send me a comment and then they remove it, unless it's YouTube doing that. Guys, I know you're passionate. I know that you've got strong views about Priscilla. I know it. I get it. And I understand. But can't we just forgive? Can't we just sort of try and, this elderly woman that has made so many mistakes, can't we just sort of try and be kinder and hope that she stops making all the mistakes that she's making? Anyway, let's play a few more videos. You don't want to just listen to me waffling all the time. We're coming up to an hour, so I tend to, when it gets to an hour, I do tend to end them. So I'm going to play a few shorts, and then I expect my wife will be home. Actually, she's going to be home any second now. So let's just pick a couple before she gets here. Right, let's have a look. Right, was Elvis a good husband?
You married, and almost a year later you have a baby, right?
Yes, my daughter.
First, what kind of husband was Elvis?
He was wonderfully loving, caring. He was a product of the business. And that was his only way of life. He loved it. He, he traveled all over before he was even really discovered by Colonel Parker, and had venues that he would appear at.
So that made it difficult as a husband in what way? A lot of women around him, obviously.
All the time.
How'd you handle that?
Very difficult.
Get ticked?
Yes. I mean, to be put in that position of admiration, I think it would be very difficult for any woman. It really was all about Elvis, in every way, in every move, in every situation.
Well, there we are. So indirectly, she is having a dig at Elvis, isn't she? She's basically saying, he was very self-centered. Isn't that what she's saying there? It was me first. But I get it. It's Elvis Presley. Everyone works for him. His whole world has been created by his gift of singing, and the way he looks and his movies has created the wealth, the employees. It's his whole. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So yes, everything was Elvis. But just from that little clip, I do see a bit of envy, a bit of, well, that's not fair. Why was everything about Elvis? Yeah, he's not better than me. I did see that. Did you guys see that? Right, let's play another one. Right, let's about the divorce.
I don't think there was ever a question. Was there still love between Elvis and Priscilla?
No.
One of the impressive photographs that were taken when they left the courthouse. You had two people getting a divorce, and they leave hand in hand. Speaks well for what they felt towards one another.
I think it was easier. I think the pressure was off.
He would come over and visit the house and come at all ungodly hours of the night and spend a lot of time with us.
Just coming over unannounced and waking me up and coming in and wanting to shoot my mom's dog because he was barking at him, and them talking, in the middle of the night all night long.
He used to do that quite often. Go to the house and call her up and say, I'm coming over. He just couldn't let go.
This is actually after we had separated, and I brought Lisa to Vegas, and I was sitting in the audience at one of the booths, and he looked over, and he very rarely, dedicated songs at all. But he looked over and he mouthed, "This is for you."
Well,
I don't think there was ever a question. Was there still love between Elvis and Priscilla?
All right, guys, gotta go. Everyone's home. Take care. All the best. Let's have a wave. Wave, wavy, wavy.